Anyway, let's see what Kamala Harris had to say.
Are you still reluctant to criticize the former president?
In what regard, please?
Well, just in terms of that question. So you went on.
What exactly would you like to ask? Be more specific, if you don't mind.
Was it Joe Biden's decision, his failure to recognize his own frailties in that position, that put you in the position that made it almost impossible to win that race?
He was not frail as president of the United States.
But he had frailties. We all saw the debate.
I do believe that Joe Biden had the capacity to be president of the United States, and I have never doubted that he had the capacity to be president of the United States. If you want to talk about whether he had the ability to endure what a race for president of the United States would require in that political environment in 2024, as I've said in the book, I had concerns.
I'm just wondering, is there a reason why you won't go to that prolonged frailty question? Now, we saw the debate, we saw the difficulty he had marshalling his thoughts.
I have answered that question. I do not believe that
I think it's just hard watching the debate to see how there could not be a problem long term.
Dude, it's awesome. It's awesome watching like European journalists actually do the basic bare minimum duties of a journalist instead of just like lapping up whatever the fuck, eating whatever the fuck Kamala Harris is serving her. It's so funny that she's, okay, Australian, sorry. It's so funny that she's also completely fucking unresponsive, like just having a hard time with this like basic function. Question to Harris, well, hasn't Biden's refusal to recognize his own frailties the reason you face a nearly impossible task? Which, by the way, would defend Kamala here. Like, she is still not throwing Joe Biden under the bus. Ironically enough, that's the reason why she lost to a certain degree. Sarah Ferguson, she literally interviewed for it. Oh, wait, I did get interviewed by her. Oh, my God. Okay, technically, you could say Aussies are European, too. They're of European descent. Okay, calm down. Oh, my God. Me and Kamala, me and the bestie got interviewed by the same lady. You're right.
So what was at play in terms of massive amounts of...
Harris talks, Trump and the reporter. I want to interrupt you because that is a world-class pivot, but it's not the question that I asked you.
Disinformation.
Now, forgive me.
And a truncated calendar in terms of the clock.
I want to interrupt you because that is a world-class pivot, but it is not the question that I asked you, which is about Joe Biden's failure to recognize his own frailties and what that did to you.
Look at her face. Look at her face. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? Bro, I've never, like that kind of stank does not come from an American broadcaster or an American journalist. Straight up. Last time I saw this kind of contentious adversarial journalism was when Crystal Ball was cooking Elisa Slotkin. This shit does not happen, chat. Americans don't do this. Take note, American media.
The question is about Joe Biden. Are you still reluctant to criticize the former president?
In what regard, please?
Well, just in terms of that question. So you went on.
What exactly would you like to ask? Be more specific, if you don't mind.
Was it Joe Biden's decision, his failure to recognize his own frailties in that position, that put you in the position that made it almost impossible to win that race?
He was not frail as president of the United States.
But he had frailties. We all saw the debate.
It's just like do you not understand that you are just melting whatever small chance remains of your next run by eating away at the marginal credibility that you have by denying objective, observable reality? It doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. I don't know what the fuck these guys love about Biden so much. Don't you have to be somewhat vicious? I feel like if a similar thing happened between Donald Trump and JD Vance would have probably put the pillow over Trump's face and assassinated him. Okay? Like, these guys don't have that fucking killer instinct. It's like they don't want to fucking win. It's like they have this weird notion of loyalty towards someone like Biden who does not even have the same standard. Biden has already yelled about Kamala Harris on his way out. Biden fell up and downstairs every time he was on camera for 4 years straight, and he's not frail. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like, this is one of those things. Like, American medical professionals are pretty decent and have a solid track record at hiding the frailties of former presidents. Okay? They are. They did this with Ronald Reagan and his dementia. FDR famously could not walk. He was in a wheelchair and he hid that from the public. Obviously, it was a little bit easier to do so back then. Okay? But Joe Biden could not hide it. Like, he just straight up could not hide his dementia because it was so transparent. It was unavoidable. And here is Kamala Harris, months after the failed election, still running around and being like, I'm going to burn what remains of the charitability you have for me by defending this fucking carcass who won't ever hear me say these things about him because he's probably in a fucking coma somewhere. Like, just say the truth, dummy. What's wrong with you? Say he's fucking old and we all saw it and it was a mistake, please. You're not going to lose anything. Not that it matters. I don't want her to fucking run anyway. And this is part of the reason, because she's just patently uncharismatic and also has no killer instincts whatsoever.
I do believe that Joe Biden had the capacity to be president of the United States, and I have never doubted that he had.
Yeah, you're burning whatever credibility you may have had by saying this over and over again, because people will now look at you and go, I thought this was already well established. I can't believe that someone is still out there defending Joe Biden's mental faculties. Wait, she went on Jon Stewart and said the same shit? Let's see.
Fully competent to serve.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
That surprises me, actually.
No, I do. There's a distinction to be made between running for president.
I love that. That's so funny. Yeah. Campaigning so much more difficult than being president. Like, he can do the president stuff. He just couldn't campaign. That's why he had to drop out. Yeah, Kamala Harris cannot be the Democratic nominee for president in 2028 unless Democrats want to spend another campaign relitigating Joe Biden's failed presidency in this roundabout and unsatisfying way. The single most important thing the 2028 Democratic presidential nominee needs to do is remind the media and voter that Donald Trump is the president and has been for the past 4 years, if not the past 12. At this point, Kamala is making it pretty obvious that she didn't write her own memoir because none of her public appearances since it's released have matched the few hard-edged and critical and actually interesting excerpts from the book. Her still being reluctant to go after Biden is genuinely really remarkable. The big thing you did in that book was burn that bridge. There might be some evidence that it's actually helping you in the polls. How can you be so indecisive that you're trying to muddy that? I didn't fucking read her book because I'm not a goddamn nerd. Don't be crazy now. Watch the interview segment on Biden that she did with the CEO guy. Why is she doing this? I don't understand it.
Stars in our party. There are so many stars. And let's not be afraid of them.
Yeah. Throw back to when she tried pulling the same deflection a month or so ago by talking about a mayoral candidate in Mobile, Alabama, who lost 2 days later. Yeah, that was awesome. Like, I thought she was pulling, some new young neoliberal candidates around the country. It turns out it was like a 60-year-old black lady that had been like an institutional Democrat and still lost in Mobile, Alabama, 2 days after the Kamala Harris endorsement. It blew my mind. Like, that's a deadlock, right? Like, that's supposed to be a lock. How the fuck do you lose that race? Is the Kamala curse, dude? Yeah, she was not young at all. These people and their belief systems are so unbelievably hollow that they're talking about the most definitional aspect of being a national politician, knowing that other politicians around the country and parading it as this totally unique approach. Mobile mentioned it was not a lock, by the way. Yeah, clearly it wasn't because she lost. Oh, Jesus Christ. I cannot believe she's still defending Biden. It's so stupid.
And being president.
What's the distinction?
Well, being a candidate for president of the United States is about being in a marathon at a sprinter's pace, having tomatoes thrown at you every step you take.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's more than a notion.
Get involved in public service, ladies and gentlemen.
And to be the seated president, the sitting president, while doing that, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. I think it's a hard case to make for people that he didn't have the stamina to run, but he had the stamina to govern. Because I think most people view the presidency as a marathon run at a sprint with tomatoes.
I love that. I love that Jon Stewart is like so gracefully trying to walk him through how stupid she sounds. Like, yeah, I think people would assume that being the president is probably just as hard, if not harder, than running for office. And Joe Biden did not demonstrate the basic competency. Come on.
Potatoes being thrown at you in terms of governance.
I believe.
Watch, she's going to lose the primary again and run as an independent. No, she's not. She's fucking cooked.